You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome into NHL Free Agency Frenzy here on Up the Turnpike. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary, joined as always by Mitch Anderson. Mitch, how are you today?
Frazzled. Absolutely frazzled because it's a day where it's Canada Day, so I've got a day off. But as you can tell by the walls, I'm painting.
Nice.
We're trying to do everything at once. Painting the walls here. It's going to be white, which is going to be a lot brighter and nicer in here. So yeah, and then like you're constantly, as you're doing that, you're basically painting with your phone in your other hand, doing one of these, like, what's happening? And then you screw up the painting. Anyways, that's how I'm doing. How about you? How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. We have I'm sorry, I got to pull this up before we have some, I wouldn't go as far as breaking news, but Kevin Weeks is doing his thing and Islanders are in the mix for someone that I was not expecting.
Okay.
I'm told the Islanders are among potential landing spots for goalie Rittich.
David Rittich. Well, we have two goalies.
Well, that's where I was going to go next. Is Semyon Varlamov not okay?
I guess.
Because he has not. We remember he got hurt before American Thanksgiving. That's a long time ago. Didn't see him for the rest of the year after that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm frazzled already.
Literally, that just came across like 10 seconds before we went live. I'm like, Mitch, you should probably start with Tony DeAngelo stuff. And we will, by the way.
Right, yeah.
We will get to that. We're going to be on for a couple hours. It's not like news is going to be flowing in every single second. But I did see that and figure, okay, we got to talk about it. 886 and 284 goals against average last year with the Kings. The year
Look
prior,
at the year. Yeah.
921, 215. Career 904, 279. Seems like, I don't know, prototypical backup numbers for most of his career. I know this, like the Nashville year, kind of gross. Last year, kind of gross. The rest is, well, outside of 2024, just good.
Yeah. So now, thank you, Jake. Like, we're gonna need your assistance here, guys, because we only have so many screens, and like TSN has 15,000 people working. It seems there's only the two of us. So throw us anything. We'll try to see it when you flag it. But this does seem weird when Rosner quotes Mathieu Dash that Varley's a good and there are no setbacks, which is what we heard during the summer. So then why would you go after David Rittich? You still have, if I'm not mistaken, oh my God, Hogberg, do you not?
Yeah, here's the tweet from Stefan. Would only make sense if Varlamov isn't ready to go. Darsh told me the other day that Varlamov was feeling really good and has had no issues during the rehab process. So I guess TBD on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not 100%, which is entirely possible. But it does seem weird. And we also do have Hogberg. Not to say that Hogberg had a good year, specifically did not end well, but I don't know, man. It seems strange to go after a goalie. It's not really what we need. But and Berm's the same. Maybe we're trading Varley. I mean, let's go.
There's been a few trades so far already today.
Yes.
Which I'm sure we'll get to again at some point. But this is, the NHL free agency frenzy through the lens of Islanders fans here.
Already a frenzy.
Yeah, already a frenzy. Let's get to it, Mitch. Tony DeAngelo signs 1 year, $1.75 million contract extension. I think this is kind of obvious after Noah Dobson was traded that they needed to bring Tony DeAngelo back. And I was hoping for a 1 year deal, which it was, and anything $2 million or less, which it also was.
Yeah, check. I'm okay with both of these. Lot of upside here for Tony D. Had a decent year. He can probably do more offensively, and it will obviously, as you mentioned, with Noah Dobson not being around, be given the role as probably the number one right-handed defenseman, probably setting up first on the power play, assuming Schaefer gets power play too as he gets comfortable. Maybe that switches. It's going to be interesting to see where he fits in. But yeah, check on both aspects of that contract. I have no problems at all.
35 games for the Islanders, so just under half a season he ended up playing. 19 points, 4 goals, 15 assists, averaged a career high 23 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yeah, like they liked using him. He's got 40-point potential, which has never been in doubt with Tony DeAngelo, right? Like he's always been a very good offensive defenseman. It's can he shut his goddamn mouth from being an idiot for once, which it seems he was able to do, which is great. That was my big worry. Is like you've got a guy who's clearly, you know, I shouldn't say clearly, but at least in my opinion, said a lot of really dumb shit, and now it seems that he's at least kept that to himself at the very least, which is totally fine. And then he's doing well on ice. You can't ask for any more for someone like that.
Yeah, there was a couple off ice, or a few off ice incidents in his career, but seems like a model citizen with the Islanders. So obviously, they felt comfortable enough to bring him back, and Patrick Waugh really liked him. I would imagine that, as you said, would expect to see him some power play time. I would think they put him back with Alex Romanov. That pair I thought was okay last year, and we'll see what they do on the right hand side. In addition, like obviously you have Pollock and Mayfield, but like how the pairings are going to be structured is still, I feel like, TBD.
Absolutely, it's still TBD. Everything's in flux, which because that's today. Today is a big influx day for us. We're seeing even Sean saying like, look, on loan Peugeot and Varley, then it's a different story, which is true. Like there's a lot that can happen with this roster just today. And we'll see what they do. We were talking off air that they don't have a ton of money, but we'll see where they go with it for now. Maybe it's not an acquisition through free agency. It's an acquisition through, through trade, perhaps. But
I wanted to pull it up. Okay, according to Puckpedia, here is where they're at after signing DeAngelo, $1.75 million. Islanders have $12.9 million in projected cap space. Holmstrom, Heineman, Siplikov, Gatcomb are names that they're going to have to look to sign as RFAs. So that 12.9 can go away very quickly with the 4 names listed here.
Yeah, because we figure Holmstrom is going to be somewhere around $4 or $5 million, and who knows how inflation plays a factor in there. Heineman isn't going to be a lot. Who are the other ones? Siplikov, maybe $3 million.
Yeah,
so we're at $8 million already.
And Gatcomb probably under $1 million.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably $10 million between the 4 of them, which doesn't leave us a crap ton of space to sign, you know, some of the bigger names that we're hoping to, maybe not hoping, but maybe looking at type of thing.
Yeah, I know, like Brock Besser was a name that got tossed around a little bit. I don't love Besser, especially at the price that's been rumored that he could get over $8 million and maybe even over $9 million in free agency on the open market. When you look at the guys available, like there's not a ton, so it's going to be overpay galore on the guys like Brock Besser, Nikolai Ehlers, and so on and so forth. But I don't know how they have the money to do something like that unless there's going to be some sort of trade here, which there has been. Like we've seen a few trades already today. Victor Arvidsson goes from the Edmonton Oilers to the Boston Bruins. That's one of maybe a recent example.
What was the return for that? Like a mid-round pick?
I believe it was a mid-round. I could pull it up. I think it was a 3rd round pick a few years from now. Let's see.
Wow. I thought that was going to be a good deal for the Edmonton Oilers. Like when they signed him to that $4 million deal, I thought, yeah, that could be good value for them.
2027 5th.
Holy crap. I mean, he didn't play well, but there's a ton of value there for Boston if he ends up playing well.
Right. Only 27 points in 67 games. You know, he did have a 59-point season 2 years ago in Los Angeles, had a couple 60-point years early in his career in Nashville when they were, you know, a wagon of a team. So at worst, probably 30-point guy, but you know, there's room to potentially have him as a closer to a 50-point player.
Yeah. So I see this one here from Eddie, and that this is someone that we've been looking at, and by we I mean the Islanders fan base, is Shabanov. It seems is going to be coming to the NHL, or is trying to. I don't know if we have to pay him a crazy amount of money. I assume he's got,
because of his age, he would have to sign an ELC, a 1 year.
That's what I was fumbling my way to speaking.
We're a tandem. We got us.
Exactly. So that would be a hell of a steal right there. Less than $1 million, or is it $1 million now based off the CBA? It's at most $1 million for this ELC for Shabanov, which would be huge if he can, successfully make that transition to the NHL.
Even if they do sign him, Mitch, where would he play is my question. Because even if you want to add, excuse me, the voice is going for some reason.
Oh, still got a couple hours here, bud.
I know we were 10 minutes in, which is not great. You have a lot of forwards already, and then you still got to sign Holmstrom. You still got to sign Siplikov. That's 2 more. Engvall and Duclair are around. I know Engvall you could probably waive and send to the AHL. Yeah. You're going to waive both? Like, where are you finding the room?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it has to be you got not only waiving those guys, but I guess you also have to trade away Jean-Gabriel Pajot to clear up that space. But Shabanov's not a center, right?
No, he's 5'8", 170. He was damn well not playing center at the next level.
Yeah, exactly. And so now you have Richie there. Okay, well, we've already filled that spot that we moved over. It's getting pretty clogged pretty quick.
This is not something that I like to hear, Mitch, 10 minutes into free agency frenzy.
Yeah.
Elliot Friedman, I don't think we're going to hear anything on Nick Ehlers today. This one's going to play out for a bit. That's the biggest name on the market. So what are we going to do for 2 hours? Just sit here and twiddle our thumbs and be like, nothing's happening. The biggest names on the free agency market are just going to hang around. And like, I don't know. I was hoping that, maybe Marner would get there. He didn't. He ends up getting traded to Vegas on a sign and trade scenario,
which makes me feel so much worse about the John Tavares thing, right? Like, at least they got Nick. It was Nick Hague, right? Or Nick Waugh?
No, Waugh.
Yeah. So, like, at least they get a third line center back in the deal. We got nothing.
They got nothing. 8x12, I think, is good value too for Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty dope. What do you think about this from Burms here? Do you think not trading for Logan Mailloux is a missed opportunity? So that's part of like the Noah Dobson situation.
He was fairly horrendous defensively last year. I know he didn't play a lot. He only played in 7 games. Highly touted prospect, was drafted in 2021, 31st overall pick though. I don't know. I'm not losing sleep over it.
No, and they clearly liked Heineman. I'm also fine without like dealing with the Logan Mailloux baggage, which seems to have. I think he apologized, which is what the victim wanted from the beginning. I believe he's done that, and that's what she says she's wanted from the start. So, it seems that things have rectified themselves, but it seems that they really, really wanted Heineman, who could play in the NHL now, whereas the question for Logan Mailloux isn't too clear.
Obviously, extremely, extremely small sample size, 7 games. So I'm not writing off his entire career, but he is this dot way over here.
Oh God!
This line is defense up top. You want to be in the top right. That's best offensively, defensively. He is a plus offensive player, which is good, but the worst defensive player in the league.
That's bad, man. That's really bad.
By a lot.
Like, he's all offense, no defense. By like, no one is as bad defensively as he is.
And again, incredibly, incredibly small sample for a 21-year-old kid making his first debut in the NHL, first cup of coffee. So who knows? Maybe it ends up working out for St. Louis, but I don't know if it's like a guarantee that, he's ready to come in.
Yeah. So dope stuff there. Well, not dope stuff, but we'll see if it ends up going well for Montreal and St. Louis with that trade. But I really hope that these big agents start moving. I hate the idea that we're sitting here going, Ehlers isn't going to sign today. What the hell was that all for then? It doesn't make sense to me. It's super dumb.
Breaking news!
Ooh.
We got our first one since being live.
Thank God.
Chris Dvorak, 1 by 5.4 to Philadelphia.
Okay. Is that a good deal? I don't know much about Chris Dvorak.
AFP Analytics had him at nowhere close to that. I get market value $1.765 million.
33 points in 82 games, 12 goals. center. So already good there. 28. That seems like a lot, but you know what? We've paid 5.5 for our third line center, Jean-Gabriel Pajot. Maybe that's why. Also inflation, right? That could be it.
Yeah, perennial like 30-point player. If you look at his career in games where he played full seasons,
Yeah.
33, 37, 38, 31, 33, 28, 33.
Look at those face-off win percentages, though.
Well,
55.8, 57.8. Like,
yeah, career 53.1%, but the last few years 55.8, 57.8, 52, and 56.7.
yeah, this is Jean-Gabriel Pajot kind of territory. So it kind of makes sense that he's getting 5.4 over 1 year is weird. Right? Like, you're just going to do the 1 year and hope, let's see what happens type of thing. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't hold out for multiple years. That's a guy who I would, it's not like he's 34 signing that contract.
He's 28 years old. He's hitting his prime.
Yeah.
I guess the market, I guess most of the GMs were in the camp that Alon's in. Just he sucks and we're not going to do more.
Yeah, at 5.4 million, I don't love that. I think, I don't know. The 1.7 or whatever AFP Analytics was projecting, it did not seem realistic to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, 4 million. This is like $1.5 million overpay, probably.
Might have some loud noises. There's some fighter jets in the air right now. It's Canada Day here. And so they're going to do their thing downtown. So we might have some fighter jets go by. It might get really loud. I'm not going to close the screen. I'm not going to do it, or the patio door. It's just too goddamn hot up here.
No, I don't blame you for that one. If we do, just turn the camera and we'll watch live with you. How about that?
There you go. Yeah. So Richard, happy Canada Day. Thank you, sir. Plus on this date in 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg. Okay. I don't know anything about that.
Civil War.
And the Battle of the Somme. I know that one. So good stuff. Good old history lesson. Thank you, Richard, for that.
Love that.
What do you think about him also saying that Besser might want to go to a contender like Florida or Carolina?
I don't know. I don't know how Florida is going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Carolina, I think, gets one of Brock Besser or Ehlers.
Ehlers feels like a goddamn Carolina player, does he not?
Oh yeah, and he's gonna crush the Islanders, like, because Carolina always seems to have the Islanders number, but he does feel like his skill set really fits well with what they do there and how they play. I think that's a no-brainer fit, and also the Logan Stankoven contract. Holy shit, man! 8x6 for him with that potential is kind of nuts, if you ask me.
Such a good deal for them, and they have a shit ton of cap space, $24.26 million in cap space, and they've got to sign Jack Roslovic, not going to be much. Tyson Yost, obviously not going to be much, might not even stay. Dmitry Orlov, maybe they want to pay a little bit more for him, but he is 33 years old. Brent Burns is 40. You're not getting a lot there. And then Riley Stillman, lulls. They get a ton of space. Insane. I wish.
Yeah, they have a lot of room. They're probably going to retain most of their guys and then add. I would think Ehlers goes there, is my guess.
It seems like a right fit for him, but how many small, fast, shoot-first wingers can you have?
Fair. If I was going to say, going back to Brock Besser, they would need to clear out a little bit more, but I could see him being a fit in Edmonton.
Yeah.
I think they would need to clear Adam Henrique's contract in addition to them just clearing Arvidsson.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Edmonton's been, my brother texted me earlier, I haven't answered him, and go like, what the hell is Bowman doing? He's so confused as far as what the Edmonton Oilers are doing. I'm trying to find them here. Why can't I find? There they are. They have $7.6 million worth of cap space right now, do the Edmonton Oilers. But they still have to sign Skinner, Perry, Brown, which is not going to be a lot. And then John Klingberg, which they probably don't retain.
No, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. But like, that's not a lot of money. $7.6 million is not a lot to give you higher depth. Although maybe they don't need more depth. Maybe they just need, they don't need higher depth. They don't need guys in their top six. They need guys, in their bottom six. So they don't have to pay a ton for that.
No, that's true. They could use more depth.
But maybe you overpay. Like we just saw, what is it, Dvorak go for $5 million? Like, Jesus, Murphy.
That's the only UFA deal that we've seen so far, and it feels like Philly was like, let's just blow him out of the water and get him in here because we like the guy. Maybe he thought I thought I was going to get that over 2 years, and here it is on a 1-year deal. I'll take my chances and then cash in again next year.
Yeah. Sean is saying here Noah Juulsen to Philly, which is whatever. This is if I remember correctly, a former top 10 pick. I think he was 9th overall by the Vancouver Canucks back in 2016, I'm going to say. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
We got a Parker Kelly extension in Colorado. That's the latest thing that I saw. 4 by 1.7 for him.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so Noah Juulsen, 26th overall by Montreal. Not the same guy I was thinking of.
Okay. There they go.
Yeah, I hear them. They're in the distance somewhere. Probably just right over my house type of thing. But they typically fly because downtown is really close to where I am at. And so they'll fly pretty low here. And you hear them. They basically buzz their 2 high rises, not like just behind me. And they buzz the high rises every couple of years.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nuts.
Must be terrifying to see like a fighter jet coming at you. Oh, my God, what is happening?
Yeah, in that building. Holy shit.
Yeah. Or cool. Apparently, Sean is saying Blackwell's staying with the Stars.
Let me refresh.
Is Blackwell? No, that Blackwood is what I'm thinking of. Is Sean just a burner account for Elliot Friedman? Because they seem on top of everything.
I haven't seen that yet.
Look at that.
It's entirely Sean might have it, but I haven't seen that get tweeted out yet.
Okay. But we're more interested in what we're doing. Although, like through proxy, we see what the other teams are doing, and thus what we won't be able to do. So far, none of the players that have been signed is like, okay, yeah, that's someone I could have used. Mitch Marner, obviously the exception, but we couldn't afford a $12 million contract.
Unless they were just going to move a ton of cap out of the way.
Yeah.
Like Pajot and something else.
You'd have to move Pajot. You'd have to move Mayfield. And then you've only opened up $8 million, right? Oh, closer to, $8.5 million. But you still need another 4 or 3.5, which I don't know if you can make it.
No. I don't know if they were getting up that high. Nor do I think he would be signing for $12 million to come to the island.
No, I don't think so either. As much as Matt Barton is our assistant general manager.
Yes.
Look at Rick showing up with a super sticker. I love you. Thank you, Rick. This is going to be great. Let us know what else you got going on there. But thank you for the $20, my dude.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I saw he said earlier, I'm going to pop up his comment from earlier. He thinks Holmstrom should get $3.5 million.
He scored just about 40 points this year, right? 41 points.
Great question.
Was that not it?
Last year, it was 45, 20 goals, 25 assists.
Oh, if we can get him a 3.5, that'd be a friggin' steal.
Yeah, I would obviously prefer the lower number. Everyone would.
Yeah.
It's probably with the contracts that are coming out today, it makes me feel like it's going to be closer to $4 million or a little over 4.
Yeah. But the thing is, like these are RFAs because I see what Rick is sent there and I see what Alon is saying here and what is Siplikov getting. They're RFAs. We don't have to. Sorry, I just heard Mathieu Biron talk about the Islanders, but they're joking around. Anyways.
Oh, okay. No.
They don't need to sign them right now. You can take your time. And so you have that cap space, kind of like what Lou did, right? Like I've got the contract. I know what I'm signing you to. I'm just going to keep this aside for now, get these free UFA signed if I need to sign them. And then I'll deal with that contract when the time comes because I don't need to do it now. And I kind of don't reveal my hand in terms of cap space.
Yeah, that is true. They don't have to do it today. I kind of want something to happen today just for having something to talk about on here for the next couple hours, right? But you're right in the sense that they don't have to just go on and now be like, okay, we signed all 4 RFAs and now we have 0 in cap space actually.
Mm-hmm. PS, I'm seeing here on our Discord something from the coming out of the Avalanche where they did not qualify William Dufour.
Oh,
So like a piece of the Brock Nelson trade, they didn't even qualify, which isn't necessarily a big surprise because he didn't do a whole heck of a lot when he was there. But it really looks like, yeah, we got a lot back for that for that Brock Nelson trade.
yeah. I'm trying to pull up the tweet right now. I just saw it in here too. Good call out.
So it's huge for us. But I mean, not huge. It's not a big steal type of thing.
No, but it was something that was, as you mentioned, a part of the deal. So yeah, here you go. William Defoe, first one listed off here.
Yeah. Another foodie. Do we get both foodies? I don't think they're family or related.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah. I mean, is it more shocking that it's Jean-Luc Foudy being not qualified or that I pronounced it correctly?
That you pronounced it correctly. You're a big fan of the mispronunciation on that.
Of the foodie. I'm a big foodie fan. What do you think about this? Because this situation has intrigued me and obviously other people as well.
Yeah, I like Marco Rossi. I personally would not play him at center on the Islanders. I think if you trade for him, I would have him play wing and split Barzal and Horvat, and have those two down the middle. But I am definitely interested in a young, productive player, right? Like I think it was 60 points last year.
That sounds right.
60, 24 goals, 36 games. He's 23. He'll turn 24 right before the start of the season. It's gotten better year over year, right? Like last year, his first full season, 40 points in 82 games, then up to 60 in his second full season. Probably going to settle in between 60, 70 point player. That'd be a nice addition here.
That'd be a huge get. It's just, can we make it work? He's an RFA, so he's not available on the free agency market, but I'm surprised no one has been able to pick him up yet. I thought he would have been gobbled up, lickety split. It makes no sense that he's still available out there. I saw Dom was tweeting out that he's got a market value of like $8 million. How is an $8 million player just sitting around? It makes no sense because he's not big. Have we not learned yet that doesn't always matter?
I don't know. I don't think the league has, which is a little strange, right? But yeah, I think they hold his size against him. I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah, that's fair. It's something here different. I'm just moving on to something else here. Logan just got out of dev camp. That's dope that we're able to see these players still, and he's saying it's such a good experience. You're going on Wednesday, are you not?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be there. If anyone watching this is going tomorrow, I'll be there. I'll let everyone know where I'm sitting when I get in there, and maybe we can meet up and hang out. But I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot. It's not just Matthew. Like, obviously, yes, I'm excited about Matthew Schaefer, but Cole Eiserman's there. The other two first rounders are there, and plenty others.
Yeah, and everyone is really picking up on Callum Ritchie. Looks like he belongs. Not just at the dev camp, but looks like he belongs at the NHL level. He looks like he should be playing with the pros and not with the rookies. So that is fun to see. Because he should be a player for us next year and looking to move up into the NHL, which is why we got him, obviously. But looking forward to that for sure. I'm still surprised that nothing is happening, that we don't have like this fallout of stuff. This guy signed.
No, it's been extremely slow start. Not my July 1 free agency frenzy.
No, exactly.
Flying off the board immediately, like 10 guys. We've seen really one.
Yeah. You remember the year Jean-Gabriel Pageau was traded to us, right? And signed? Like, that was, oh my God. Like, that was a trade deadline, was it not?
That was trade deadline.
Yeah, because it happened right. Like 12 o'clock hit, boom, Jean-Gabriel Pageau done. Traded and signed. That's what I like to hear.
Okay, big name off the board.
Oh,
Breaking news!
Brock Besser is returning to Vancouver. Not a lot of movement, folks. Not a lot of movement.
We're just fools. All of us are just fools. And like, I guess he tested the market and he didn't like what he saw.
Maybe. I'm very curious to see what this contract's going to come in at, because I would have thought he could get close to $9 million in free agency. Not saying that's what he's worth, right? But I think he was going to get, or I thought he was going to get paid a lot on the open market. Again, waiting on that contract though.
Yeah, we'll see. P.S. Chris Boyle, yes. Oliu Levy, thank you very much for that. It was Oliu Levy I was thinking of earlier when we're talking about Noah Juleson. Yeah, not a whole lot happening here. Michael just tuned in, forgot that it was at noon. Totally forgiven, my dude. I mean, the only news is the Tony DeAngelo thing, right?
Yep. Tony DeAngelo signs 1 year, $1.75 million. I think pretty good value. He played a lot for them last year in the just under half a season. He was averaging over 23 minutes a night. I don't know if he's going to play 23 every night, but I would imagine that he's going to play a decent chunk here.
I would think so. Yeah, he's going to play, like, he's going to be top of the,
I am shocked.
Uh-oh.
Don't look at Twitter. What do you think the number is? What do you think the number is for Brock Besser?
$6.5 million.
Okay.
I don't know what his deal was beforehand.
It's 7 by 725 for Brock Besser.
Oh,
I thought it was going to get over $8 million. I really did.
Okay. So it must have been like the value wasn't there for him at all.
It's weird who is getting overpaid and who is getting these cheaper deals, right? Like you have Dvorak at over $5 million and Brock Besser is at 7.25.
Yeah, like Andre's saying, like,
nothing.
Wow, that's it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I thought, if you hit the market, I thought you'd be looking at like a 7 by 8 or somewhere along those lines, maybe even more.
Yeah, just considering that there isn't really a whole lot of big free agents out there anymore, right? Marchand signed, Marner's gone, Stankoven, all those RFA, like Bennett gone. There's no one really there. He was one of maybe the second highest rated UFA out there, and he stays for 7.25. Strange, but that could have been the best deal he was going to get.
Maybe it was, or maybe he just really wanted to stay.
Yeah. Jake is saying he would have given Besser that. Would you have given Besser that?
I think it's a fair value deal for Brock Besser. I'm not sold on him being. I know he had the 40 goal season 2 years ago. That's his only season, 30 plus goals for him.
Right.
Every single other year is right around 25 or less.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's really moving me that much.
I don't think he is either. Not for that price. Not for that price. There's a potential there. It would have been fun to see him play alongside Matthew Barzal, right? Like you got two guys that were competing for the Calder Cup in 2016, right? Yeah. But he hasn't been the same player since.
Totally fair. We have the money on Eklund now, so I can pull that up.
Okay, not our Eklund, the other Eklund, right?
William Eklund. Sorry. Yeah, William Eklund. 3 by 5.6.
Whoa. Okay, that's a hell of a bridge deal. But I'm saying whoa isn't like, oh, that's way too much, because obviously not. William Eklund, a hell of a player and still quite young. Right, like you're saying they're 22 years old.
45, 58. Nice bridge deal for him. We'll take him to about age 26 at that point.
Yeah. Looks like a second line winger type of thing. But again, only 22 years old and already putting up 58 points. Doesn't seem like he's going to be a 20 goal scorer because he hasn't been able to crack that amount yet, but still only 22 years old. So that's huge for them. Good job.
It's a good deal. I like it.
Yeah. You want to get those done well, especially the younger ones. Because it just, you keep them around for a while. Jake is saying that the Isles, Flyers, Mammoth, Rangers, and us, there we go, are favorites for Shabanov.
It would be nice. I don't know. Yeah, it's Kevin Weeks tweeted it out, so I'll pull up the tweet. He says, I'm told Flyers, Mammoth, Rangers, and Islanders are the favorites to land Russian Shabanov on a 1-year NHL contract. He would have to sign a 1-year ELC. So really it's about opportunity there at that point.
Just like Maxim Tsiplikov, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this guy was over a point per game last year at the KHL, had 50 points in 64 games the year prior with 25 goals. That would be ideal. And he's what, 24? Yeah, he's 24 years old, turns 25 at the beginning of October.
Yeah, Siplikov, for context, had 47 points, 31 goals in 65 games his last year in the KHL before coming over.
Yeah, but he had one good year, right? One explosive year in the KHL, and he's fine. This totally fine with what we're getting from Maxim Siplikov. But this guy's got 2 years, so the proof is a little bit more in the pudding here for Shabanov. Forgot his first name for a second. Maxim.
It's also Maxim, and he's also 2 years younger, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. That helps. Alon thinks he's going to Philly.
I've heard that as well, which totally fair, right? The Islanders aren't going to get every single Russian prospect making their way over from the KHL.
That's right, and he should get an opportunity to play. He gets to play with Matvei Michkov over there. Though we got a lot of Russians now.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Romanov is here forever. So is Sorokin. Siplikov is probably going to re-sign at some point soon.
Varley,
right? We got a good group of Russians here that some of these high talented Russians are going to want to stick around. Maybe.
Correct.
I'm confused. I heard Nelson and Besser wanted to go home, and neither of them did.
Yeah, that is a little strange, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know if Minnesota could have afforded to bring them in. They need to offload Rossi, although he's on RFA right now. He doesn't have money signed, but they can't be bringing in that while also keeping him around, or they're going to lose out on him because teams are going to go, well, now you're forced to trade him, so we're going to put you over a barrel.
Sorry, I'm still shocked that the second biggest name on the market, Brock Besser, was just 20 minutes in. I'm going back.
Yeah. Right. Put his toe in the water, got slapped, and stepped right back out. Ridiculous. Maybe Rossi's getting offer sheeted.
An offer sheet? Okay.
I would freaking love that so much.
Breaking news!
Corey Perry is going to the LA Kings.
The Los Angeles Kings, you have lost the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, congratulations on the Stanley Cup final loss. They'll come out of the Western Conference, though, I guess.
That's true. So just going back to what we were talking about in terms of Rossi and getting an offer sheet.
Yes.
They have $18.8 million worth of cap space. And all they have is Justin Brazeau, Gustav Nyquist, Rossi, John Merrill, and Marc-André Fleury, which is retiring. So they're going to have money to sign him. I don't think they have to worry about an offer sheet.
Yes.
They would match it, although they don't want to keep him. So maybe the offer sheet is the right way. Let's hope a team overpays for him through offer sheet and we get a lot of picks for it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool just to see something exciting happen today, because it has been an absolute snooze fest so far.
Absolutely.
Boring start here. We're 38 minutes in. We're going to be on for roughly 2 hours today. That's the plan, at least, unless absolutely zero happens. But I'm hoping that's not the case.
I hope not either. But yeah, nothing is really happening. Tony DeAngelo resigns 1/175. Totally fair contract. Everything is good there. And then it's, what do the Islanders do with the rest of the money they've got? If I'm looking at cap wages, which I think still they have the Tony DeAngelo deal in. Islanders have $14.7 million worth of cap space.
Okay.
Which is a lot, but Siplikov, Holmstrom, Emil Heineman all need to be re-signed in terms of forwards. And then on the back end, Scott Perunovich is not getting qualified, which doesn't mean he's gone. They've done this before where they haven't offer sheeted someone and signed them anyways to an AHL contract.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah, and then Mike Riley, of course, also not signed. But
do you think he comes back?
I don't know. Probably not. If I was him, I'd probably be like, who knows? I think if with heart issues, I'd be like, I'm not gonna go down that road. It's just too dangerous. But he's got better doctors than I do, so who knows?
He only played 18 games last year, but the year prior with the Islanders, I thought he was a good pickup. 24 points in 59 games, was playing 17 minutes, 16 a night.
Yeah, I'm with Andre. I doubt he comes back. Does that mean he comes back to the NHL or the Islanders? I think he just doesn't come back to the Islanders. Maybe someone like Anaheim finds a spot. I'm just throwing a number out there.
I don't think this is something that would happen soon. Like that's usually in free agency frenzies of old, all the big names would go July 1, and then like July 2 and 3, you'd see people get picked up. This is the old day, July 2, July 3rd signing where it's like, oh, he's going to Anaheim for $900K or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens, but like
Breaking news!
Joel Armia is also going to the LA Kings.
LA retooling some depth there.
Yeah, adding some depth to that team. They were good, the Kings, a year ago. Armia, 29 points in 81 games last year with Montreal.
Yeah, I think they're just tired of getting beaten by the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. But they're tired of getting beaten because when they ice their third or second lines, they get not third and second, at least their fourth line anyways, they get completely caved in. They want to do more with that, be able to, push the play offensively a little bit more. And so you're getting a little bit of depth there. LA could be a dangerous team, man. Philip Danault is a hell of a third line center. I friggin' love him. And then Byfield is coming into his own.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, down the middle, Kopitar, Byfield, Danault down the middle is sick. That's great depth.
Yeah. Interesting question here from Michael. Do you think the Islanders look for a new 1B goaltender, or is Varlamov the guy? I don't think Hogberg is the answer. That's interesting considering the rumor we saw earlier, right?
That's true. I want to see if I can go back to that. That was early. I got to scroll through a shit ton of tweets. But the Islanders did have some interest in another goalie, allegedly.
Yeah, apparently they were in on or looking at David Riddick. So big save, Dave. I think I saw someone put that in the comments. I'm sorry who it was. Andrew, I think. Either way, they might be coming to the island. It could be that Varley is just not okay to go to start the year. But that could be the case.
Got another signing coming through. Another Philadelphia signing here.
Oh.
Where is it? It's mother of God. Hang on.
Yeah, we need like 16 people. Okay, so we need all of you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so the channel grows, so we can hire people to run our production, and then we could do the talking.
If we're doing both at the same time, it's a little tough. But here you go, Dan Vladar.
Okay, that makes sense because Calgary is going to run full on with Dustin Wolf, and so Vladar isn't going to get much of a shot there. He was fine, right? 280, 898. Fine.
Back up.
Oh, amen. 100%.
Yeah, like back up. But that's decent money for about 335. I guess everyone's getting more now, so that should be expected.
Yeah, for a guy who, I guess where's he going in? It was Philly, you said, right?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, like Philly's goaltending situation isn't fantastic. Oh, hey Pete, what's going on, buddy?
It stunk forever.
Yeah, it has, and it still is. Like they don't have goaltending in Philly, so if they can get something going, might as well try this guy who's obviously NHL caliber, if anything, but just a backup. Come on up, right here.
Let's see Pete. Come on, Pete.
There we go.
Look at the handsome boy. There he is.
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah.
What do you think, Pete? Oh, he licked the mic.
Okay, go. Good doubt.
How about this tweet from Stefan here? I believe the feeling was mutual between Isles and Besser had he been leaving Vancouver. Not sure if he would have been able to get 7x725 on the island, but as mentioned, he's very close with Bo Horvat, and it would have been a good fit at the right price.
I think that's it. We couldn't agree to a price. Like, I'm sure Metsudash likes him and would have liked to have bring him in, obviously, but then again, sticks to his guns. Just, I'm not going to overpay you. My offer is $6 million, let's say. I'm not going over that. And he wanted more. So it's like, okay, sorry. I'm assuming, obviously, filling in the gaps.
Right. And you know what? That's a fair point that Stefan brings up that I tend to diminish is his play with Bo Horvat and how they played together in the past. So Could have been spun as a positive there, but doesn't matter because he's going back to Vancouver.
Yeah. Shabs asked, do we think that Dallas just signs his guys and like calls it?
That's my expectation, honestly.
Yeah, it might just be like, and it might not even do it today because there's absolutely no rush to re-sign your RFAs right now.
No, I mean, remember with, what was it, Ryan Strome? They walked it like right up to days before training camp.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to go that far, but we're going to see. I don't expect them to sign them now unless they're going to test the market today and try to find someone that they really, really like and bring them in if they can at a reasonable price, and then sort out their RFAs afterwards because they're just not in any rush at all. And there's so much, they have so much cap space in terms of like $14.7 million that the likelihood of an offer sheet is super low.
It is very low.
And remember, like, just because a team gives an offer sheet doesn't mean that an offer sheet exists. The player has to sign it for it to like become an offer sheet type of thing.
Correct. They actually have to sign. It's the offer is only half the battle. You got to get them to sign on to it too.
Yeah, exactly. We're good there. I've seen Alon ask this once or twice there. What's the over under that Pellick is dealt June 2026? So next year. He'd have 3 years, I believe, left on his deal. Let me look it up to make sure. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 years left at 5.75.
I'm gonna say unlikely for next year. Maybe the following year. I still just feel like it's too much time.
I would say under 33%.
This is the best comment of the stream so far. Hi, Mitch. It's Ella. You look younger today.
Oh, wow. Do I look old normally? God damn. Well, thank you, Ella, for that. I've got even white here coming in, Ella. My gosh. I love it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I had to toss that up because that actually made me laugh out loud.
Oh, my back feels a lot better all of a sudden.
Oh, look at that.
As I crack it in 15 different spots.
Young and spry, Mitch Anderson. That's what they say.
That's what they say already. Okay. We've got James say, why resign Maxim? I wasn't that impressed. Not a lot of scoring, lots of penalties. So you think we have to sign him back?
They don't have to, but he's a restricted free agent. Had 35 points. He played 77 games. I think that they like him. Maybe he's just not in as big of a role, right? Like, because there was thoughts of him being in the top 6 early on. We were big on pumping the brakes on that, but I would say he settled in on the third line mostly. But who knows? Maybe they see, him and Heineman as new additions to the fourth line.
Yeah, I like this comment here from Jake in relation to this. He's still adjusting to the North American game. And he mentioned it himself. I don't know if it was during the season or at the end of the year. He mentioned like the number of games played. It's not what he's used to at the KHL. Like their season is some 60 games long, where it's a full 82 games here and closer together, right? So the conditioning isn't quite there or wasn't quite there, which you can work on. And I'm sure he's going to do that over the offseason or over last year. So if he can get his conditioning right, then what we saw at the beginning of the year might be sustained for a little bit longer. Because was it Rick? No, sorry, James. James is right that there was a lot of penalties at the end, tired penalties, right? Not moving his feet. And so with a little bit more conditioning, I think we're fine. Doesn't mean we need to give him like $5 million. But if we're sitting at 3 to 3.5, I think that's totally fair.
I think it's fair also. I just wanted to mention Elliot Friedman saying nothing done, but New Jersey is making a strong push at Connor Brown. Okay.
Yeah, they need depth too. They need doctors in New Jersey to make sure their guys don't have season-ending injuries.
Happens way too often for them. That's been a big story over the last couple of years. Oh yeah, ripe old 83 years old, Mitch Anderson.
Yeah, me and Lou about the same age, but at least Bill is older. All you people, these are patrons that we speak to often, almost daily throughout the year. If you want in on that, sign up today, patreon.com/uptheturnpike. You get in on not just our podcast that we do twice a week, but you also get in on the Discord, which is popping off, I'm sure, right now. Yes, this is a lot of comments. I missed like 75 comments just reopening the window again.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of surprise at the Brock Besser contract in the Discord, which we shared that same surprise.
Yeah. Apparently, here from Ryan, Gavrikov is going to the Rangers. That kind of surprises me. Not that he's going to the Rangers, that he's even just available, I suppose. Or was I thinking of someone else?
You got to be thinking of somebody else because they've been talking about that for a while. 7x7 for Gavrikov.
No, I'm thinking of a Columbus player, which he was at one point, but no longer. But how much was he?
7x7.
Excuse me?
He played 23 minutes a night for LA last year, 30 points, 5 goals, 25 assists.
Okay. That's a big deal. You know what? I'm going to stop reacting to the actual financial number because I think I'm still stuck in yesterday's numbers and I'm not adjusting my own brain for inflation. But that first comment, it seems like an overpay, but I'm going to check myself because that could be inflation not adjusting in my head.
Does it make you feel any better about Romanov, as Walter chimes in and says?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, sure, we have Romanov for another year, but that's totally fine. Ish.
He's younger.
He is younger, right? Gavrikov is 29 years old, turns 30. Where's his birthday? November 21st. So 2 months into the season.
Yep.
And $7 million seems like a lot for a 30-point player. But still, like, decent player, obviously.
They needed help. Rangers needed a lot of help on defense. That was, I feel like, the worst kept secret that they wanted to sign Gavrikov. Someone had a tampering. Yeah, here we go. Dan said it. Rangers should get looked into tampering with Gavrikov. There was a lot of smoke with the Rangers and Gavrikov.
Interesting. Although maybe Artemi Panarin and him have a link.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. But they've got a lot of. Well, they don't have a lot. They still have to re-sign K'Andre Miller. Do the Rangers.
I would be floored if he's with the Rangers next year.
Yeah. But like they have $15.6 million worth of space right now without the Gavrikov deal. So they're up to or down to what is that? $7.6 million worth of cap space now. Obviously they're not going to re-sign Calvin DeHaan. He basically burnt that bridge. Obey Kubel, Will Cooley. They have to re-sign. That's not going to be cheap.
No, he's going to get a decent amount.
Right.
I'm going to pull up. AFP Analytics has been pretty good with as a tool to look. I want to see if they have anything on Gavrikov.
They have 3.4 by 3 for Gavrikov for Cooley. Sorry, I know you're looking for Gavrikov.
They're calling it a great deal. His market value was 7.6 according.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I stand corrected. See, this is the thing. I'm not adjusting my own brain for inflation because I'm just not in it. You're used to looking up numbers for a long time. And for a while, the cap was going up for a little bit, but not by much. And we also had the dead cap era. So a deal was a deal. Kind of like the number you're seeing was good for years over end. But now that we have a crap ton of money, like $7.7 million seems like a lot of money. Or $7 million for a second pair guy seems like a lot of money.
And another good point from AFP that this looks solid, especially after the Provorov deal, who got $8.5 million.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That's fucking nuts.
8.5 for Provorov seems like a lot. I guess they wanted to make sure they kept a guy that they liked in Columbus.
But 33 points. His best year was his second year in league where he had 41, but he eats a lot of minutes for them, which I guess they see value in that. I think he's okay. That's another guy who, his analytics stink, but his actual production looks okay and he plays decent minutes. I still think that's an overpay. I don't think he's a horrible player, but
it's a lot of money, $8.5 million. But like James is saying, it's raining cash right now.
It is. Oh, here we go. You said K'Andre Miller.
Breaking news.
We have a trade. Rangers working on sending Keandre Miller to Carolina.
Of course. I shouldn't act like, oh my God, I'm upset. I like Keandre Miller. I would like him, but we have a ton of defensemen. There's not going to be any space for Keandre Miller on our team, but I would love to have Keandre Miller.
Does he also not seem like a Carolina Hurricane?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this just makes so much damn sense. They trade him in division, which is, it looks like they, we'll have to see what it ends up being, but
yeah, young, mobile, physical as well. A ton of upside. I don't know why the Rangers gave up on this kid. I don't understand. Keandre Miller is a really good player. I don't get it. Good structure to his game, I think, but they clearly don't think he's good defensively.
No.
He had 43 points 3 years ago. What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense that they would just give up on this kid. There's clearly something they don't like about him. Whether that's, a good idea or not, but they still do.
No, they wanted Gavrikov. They view that as an upgrade.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see what they get in return.
Do you think they play him with Adam Fox, Gavrikov?
Yes. 100%.
They needed to find someone. Sorry, I'm stuck on this Gavrikov thing. The consensus is it's fair. Pretty shockingly fair deal. They had The Athletic had his market value at 6.4. He gets 7. So like that's squabble.
All right. Yeah, that's wild. Glenn, I don't know if we need an enforcer. I'm good to not have an enforcer. Do we need a shit disturber? Fair. But I don't think we need a guy to drop gloves instead. I think that's just done.
Does Scott Mayfield not do that enough?
I guess it's just like, do we even play him?
It looks like they will now, unless he's going to waive him or just healthy scratch him for the next 5 years.
Yeah. So he could do it. He's not on the ice all the time, only 18 minutes, which is still quite a bit. I don't care about having an enforcer. Someone like a ratty player that gets under people's skins, sure. I just even know, like, protect the kids. I don't buy that. Like, you can have Anders Lee out there protecting the kids. You can have other players protecting the kids. You don't need a guy to like drop gloves type of thing. That's a guy. It's done. That's done in the league.
Then I don't think there's going to be a Matt Martin replacement.
And even then, Matt Martin, was he doing that the last like 4 years?
Not really.
Like, the opportunity one doesn't present itself very much. And you can do that in different ways where you don't need a guy who's just there to fight. Like, we don't need big man go punch. We don't need that. Do we need a shit disturber? Someone like a Leo Komarov? Sure. I think there's a lot of value in someone like that, but not an enforcer.
They have guys though that are willing to drop. Like Mayfield is, Romanov can, Siplikov can, Zizekas, Lee, Peugeot, even though he's on the smaller side. Like I think they're fine. It's not like they're rostering a team of all 5'11", 180-pound kids.
Yeah. And like Dan is saying, like, here, like, refs get involved so quickly now if a dirty hit happens. It's true. Linesmen are right in there right away. So like the opportunity for a fight doesn't present itself very often. It's just I not worth it, in my opinion, to go after someone like that.
Yeah.
Meso's still asking about Shabanov. We're still looking for that. Yeah. We're still in, but the field was down to 4. Rangers moving Keandre Miller makes sense in terms of, clearing up that space on the roster for Gavrikov. It's just, do they have space now offensively? They still have to re-sign Will Cooley. Do they have the space?
Stefan had a tweet on this, so I wanted to pull it up from 4 minutes ago. Reported Isles a few weeks ago still being in the mix, despite rumors he was 100% going to Philly for a team that could use speed and skill, especially with not a ton of cap space. Being able to sign a European forward to 1-year ELC is critical, like what we saw with Siplikov.
Yeah. It'd be dope. It'd be a really good addition for us if we can get him, mainly for the price. And then not even mainly for the production. And then the price is just a cherry on top.
Would you expect more out of Shabanov than what Siplikov gave you a year ago?
like production wise.
Production wise.
Yes.
Okay.
I would worry about the conditioning. I don't know. I don't know what his conditioning is specifically, but I'm just saying because we saw it with Siplikov, that conditioning was an issue. He said so himself again. Would that be the case for Shabanov? You would hope that he calls up Maxim like, "Hey, what should I do? Like, get on the bike, bud."
Yeah. Start now.
Yeah.
By the way, Connor Brown ended up being 4 years, $3 million AAV to the Devils.
I saw another text from my brother. Like, Edmonton sounds like they're letting everyone walk. WTF? Kane, Arvidsson, and now Perry, and we got nothing coming back. We're so screwed this year. And now Brown.
Yeah, I mean, Brown's a solid bottom six guy, and the Devils really needed that. They needed help in their bottom six, but I don't know what the plan is for Edmonton. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know either. It seems wild. We'll see, because there's not a whole lot available out there either. Like, where are they going to find these bottom pair guys? Well, not bottom pair, but bottom six guys, because they need it.
News.
Uh-oh.
Tanner Jeannot, 5 years, $3.4 million to Boston.
Okay. I wouldn't have minded him on the team. I just, whenever I'm thinking about these additions, like, do we have space for that? We don't really have space for another bottom six player. Right? Like,
they have $1 million.
Yeah. So I'm fine with that. That's a long contract.
Yeah. It is. He's still young though. He's 27. He just turned 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mesa's saying, 3.4 a lot is a lot for a bottom sixer.
It is, but I mean, that's 2 years ago, $2 million.
Yeah. Like, if we're looking for an agitator type of guy, he seems like the fit. That would have been the fit. But we need more top end guys. We can probably get guys to get a little bit more muckier, if you will. And we probably don't have to do it for 5 years. Oh my God.
Did we? I missed this yesterday. I don't know if you did or not. So you can call me an idiot for not seeing it or whatever, but I wanted to bring it up here.
Yeah.
The Bruins did not qualify Oliver Wahlstrom.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay. You saw that? Okay.
Yeah. He becomes a free agent. I still have him on my Instagram, and I saw he had a reel where he's just, I think he's in New England and just chilling by the water. So he doesn't seem too worried, but I think I would. I don't think he plays in the NHL anymore.
I would be surprised, honestly. Do you think AHL guy or yes. Europe was going to be my question?
I think his aim for today or the next couple of days is he can get a contract below, the send down threshold, and then you bounce between the AHL and NHL and take your opportunity when it's presented.
Want to pull up a completely different direction. Sorry, but this just popped up on my feed and I chuckled to myself and figured I'd bring it up. Dom, who's a big Islander analytics guy, says, why do GMs keep making trades with the Canes? Chances are if they want your player, that's a sign you should keep them.
Yeah, man. Like, that's a really well-run organization. Whether you agree on how they play or you don't like the fact that they haven't, been able to escape the conference finals yet, they're still up there every year. They're one of the better teams in the league. Their pipeline is really good. It's a really well-run organization because they keep finding value with guys like this.
Michael Pezzetta is heading to Toronto as well. We don't know the deal. Bob McKenzie, woke up from his nap at the cottage.
He's currently live on TSN.
Oh, is he? Okay. I'm sorry. That was a little harsh to Bob McKenzie, but he's a quick to the cottage guy.
Definitely. Well, the second he's done the broadcast at TSN, it's straight to the cottage. Him and Pierre Lebrun, same time.
Yeah, the two of them together. Is Frank Saravalli the only one who works over the summer?
Probably. The other guys are sipping their margaritas. The second July 1st is done. Zach here, late to the party. Who have the Isles lost and gained? We haven't lost anyone yet. We don't have much to lose, right? We've gained, I suppose, Tony DeAngelo, but that's not much of a gain because we already had him, technically speaking. And the only thing that we've seen in terms of rumors is we may have been sniffing around goalie David Rittich, and we're still in potentially on Maxim Shabanov. That's the update, Islander Rise.
Quiet. You haven't missed much.
That's correct. Islanders expect insiders expect us to make a push for Ehlers.
Really?
I mean, I would love to see that, but I just we have to make moves. I think Andre was.
We were just talking Saravalli. He's on the Bleacher Report stream. Had a couple nuggets on Ehlers.
Okay.
He wants to go somewhere warm. Wants to go somewhere to a market with less intensity. And he named Carolina and Washington as teams in the mix.
I mean, Winnipeg sure is intense, but it's a really small market. You're not going to find a smaller market. Well, you might, I suppose. Like, I guess San Jose. No, San Jose is not a small market. We know the small market in this world.
Utah,
I guess. Yeah, you can be anonymous in Utah. You can be anonymous on the island and have a better chance of winning. It may not be. I mean, everywhere is warmer than Winnipeg. I love Winnipeg, by the way, but it is cold as shit over there.
Okay, I was gonna say Washington being they're a little bit closer to south and warm weather, but I wouldn't necessarily think like, oh, DC, that's hot. I'm thinking warm weather. My mind goes Florida or Carolina. Yeah,
you go somewhere warm, like actually warm, but it is more temperate, right? Winnipeg, it is cold and dry as shit, which again, I love. I love the winter, everyone. I prefer the winter over the summer, but anywhere is basically warmer than Winnipeg, outside of maybe Edmonton.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see where he chooses to go. But we've also heard from the beginning that Ehlers is going to take some time before he decides. Like, we might not find out today where he decides to go, unless he gets, I assume, an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah.
We shall see. Do you mind if I run down and fill my water bottle? Because it is empty.
Fill up the water bottle. I'm refreshing Twitter while you do that. I'll pull up some comments. So I got us locked down right here.
BRB.
Okay. Sean, who's been our insider all day, says, I haven't heard Ehlers is leaning in any direction other than east. Okay. Well, Islanders would technically count on the east side, but Carolina and Washington, both playoff teams a year ago, feel like they make a little bit more sense than the Islanders. Although Andre thinks the Ducks could be in on him. The Ducks have a lot of money to spend, though. No, I want to pull up cap wages and see cap space wise. The Ducks have a shit ton. They have $36.9 million in cap space. The only team that has more is San Jose at 55. Sloppy saying Carolina can afford to overpay him. Think he lands there. Even $9 million wouldn't be an issue for them. They also have a lot of money. They have $23.5 million to spend. Ryan points out Long Island is officially no longer a temperate zone. It is now a coastal subtropical zone, which is the same as Carolina. Okay. There we go. That was the quickest. I don't think you can hear me yet. Now we can hear me. That was the quickest water bottle fill of all time.
I also like scarfed down a pepperette, like a duck. I just swallowed it down all the way.
All right. There you go. Ryan was saying that Long Island is now coastal, subtropical zone, just about same as Carolina. So why not
call Ehlers now?
Get him on the horn. I don't think it's happening.
No, I don't think so either. Like Matthias is asking, like, how much cap do we have? As it stands now, we have $14.7 million in cap space, I believe. Let me bring it up here. At least according to cap wages. Puckpedia might be different, maybe a little bit more accurate. If I could find it here. Come on. What are we doing here? No, that's not what I want. Just straight up Puckpedia.
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
Sloppy wants to know, but I also want to know, what is a pepperette?
Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a tube of meat. It's like a little smoked meat stick. Think of a breadstick, but it's made of meat.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have that?
Yeah. No, but versions of it.
It's like a really, it's not like a Slim Jim is super thin, right? With a pepperette is like, it's almost like a sausage.
Okay.
Yeah, like John is saying, like a meat cigarette.
Okay. Like a meat cig. There we go.
Yeah, but like it's not crap meat. It's like it's turkey.
There's turkey. Actually, you had a turkey one. I'm looking at pepperoni ones. It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. So according to cap wages, we have 14.7, but according to Puckpedia, we have $12.9 million for the cap space. I would trust Puckpedia a little bit more. Not even a little bit more.
Significantly more.
Yeah. It's not a thing of pepperoni because it's turkey meat. It's good stuff. Yeah, Michael, let's go. We could use more people.
Yeah, he's coming up. The latest that I saw, and I refreshed my screen and it went away. I freaking hate this.
It's not a lot of happening.
No, it was a 1-year deal for less than $1 million. So it doesn't matter. I'll find it again eventually.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What a boring day. Although Craig Button is doing his best on the TSN broadcast, just basically getting mad at everyone.
Is he? What are you saying?
I can't really hear everything he's saying because I have the volume quite low, but he is very animated.
Okay.
I think he's not happy with the Tanner Jeannot move. To him, it doesn't make any sense.
Seems like an overpay to me.
It's an overpay in terms of term. Like $3.4 million, fine. In terms of the actual contract. But 5 years? Do you need to really do 5 years for Tanner Jeannot? I mean, clog up everything. Let Boston fail, and then James Higgins is free, baby. Let's go.
Did you see he had trouble getting there for camp yesterday? He was delayed.
Yes. Yeah. He was late to camp because of the plane or something. And like, don't worry, you don't have to be here. And he's like, I will be here. You have to cut my legs off if I'm not going to be here.
I saw a quote tweet. Someone said, I think it was Brian Compton, was like, oh, he's just stuck on the Cross Island Parkway. We've all been there.
Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, I absolutely, Matthias, overpay for Jeannot, at least in terms of years. And you're not the only one thinking that. Masso, kind of the same thing here. And it seems like the TSN broadcast is thinking the same thing as well. Like, the money itself, you could maybe argue, okay, fine. But the years, 5 years is a long time. And speaking from experience, right? We had Case Zekas finally done his contract. Cal Clutterbuck was signed forever. Hell, we had Ross Johnston signed for 4 friggin' years twice.
The fact that Ross Johnston got multiple 4-year deals with the Islanders is actually nuts.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. What did he do last year even in Anaheim?
Over under 10 points.
Under, I'm going to say. Yeah.
Under.
He only played 43 games. So how many points do you think he scored?
4. I have.
Yes. Okay.
Cheated.
That's fair. That's totally fair, man. But like, what are we doing here? What were we doing there? It made no sense. Sure, he had 7 points in 32 games once. It was never going to be sustainable.
No. Weird era, man. Really weird era of Islanders hockey. I mean, they were good for most of the time that he was there. Not that he was playing a ton, but weird era in terms of him getting multiple 4-year contracts with the Islanders.
Yeah, the guy got $8 million to play hockey. Good on him, but holy shit, that should not have been the case. Think of this. Is Duclair coming back because Lou's gone? I don't think Lou's the issue for Duclair. I think it's going to be Patrick Roy.
Yeah, but apparently he is, right? By all accounts.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like everything is going to be fine. That the new GM is going to, not mull things over, but smooth things over between Duclair and Roy.
We'll see, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how, the coaching isn't changing, but I guess he's just got to get over it, or both sides.
Because there's another 3 years on that deal. Ryan here's like, what's up with Tenders? And insane trade values and contracts. We remember the trade that sent him to Tampa Bay. It was like 4 picks were sent to Nashville for him.
I'll pull it up. One of them was definitely a first. Trade. It was.
Oh my God!
A conditional first, a second, and a third.
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. Okay, I had to read it again to make sure I was reading it correctly.
Like the years are different, but a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and Cal Foot. Which Cal Foot, whatever, but still, that's so much was sent to Nashville to get Tanner Jeannot. My God. Which Mathieu Darche was there for that.
He was. Maybe he really liked him.
Yeah. Or maybe he was part of the like, we can't do that, guys. We can't do it. And then they just did it anyways.
A lot of Duclair talk in the chat now.
Yeah. Well, just because we mentioned it here. Just
Duclair
finally answering my brother.
What's the take? What do you
now he's like getting decimated. Gulutzin gone to Dallas, Connor Brown in New Jersey, Perry to LA, RV to Boston, Kane to Vancouver, and still no tangible player coming back our way. I'm telling you, I'm reading your text live on stream.
Yeah.
For 260 plus people.
They love it. Hey, Billy sends in his super chat. While you're doing that, I'll read Billy's comment. Thank you, Billy. Says, hey guys, with our prospect pool, NJG, Pajot, and Lee's contracts ending, if no big moves are made this season, we basically tank. What are you thinking timeline-wise for us to be serious cup contenders? Cup contenders or playoff contenders? Well, he says cup, so I guess we have to take it as cup, but 4 years?
Yeah.
If everyone hits?
Like, assuming we get... Let's not assume we get Gavin McKenna, because winning the lottery twice in a row would be it's insane. But yeah, I think 3 to 4 years would be the case. But you'd have to start selling off guys like Barzal, like Sorokin. They because they have contracts 4 years, and by the time we're good, they're going to be in their mid 30s. It's just they could be replaceable.
I think it depends on where they are 2 years from now. Because I think it would have to be, we'll say this year and next year, transition years. Can the year after be a playoff year and you still have Barzal at 31 and Horvat at 32, 33 for that?
Yeah. I would still work, I think. As depth players, that would still work, I think. But
because they wouldn't be as much. They would be a part of the core, but then you're also including Matthew Schaefer, Cole Iserman, Cal Ritchie, maybe another one of the first round picks from this year, maybe a pick from next year too.
Yeah, and that's assuming they all hit. Like, there are a few comments here saying like they're not all going to hit, which is true. They're not all going to hit. Not every one of our prospects that we picked up recently there is going to be a hit. We hope so. And they could, probably not. There's at least going to be one in there that's just not going to pan out the way we expect. At least one. So that might delay us a little bit more.
Hopefully,
I think 3 to 4 years.
Hopefully only one don't hit. Hopefully most do.
Yes, we need most to hit badly, because we've been there before where we had our core of guys, not all drafted as close as we're drafting them now, but remember when Gar Snow was in that kind of tank mode and we had those like 5 top 5 picks and they just didn't pan out. Well, outside of John Tavares did, despite how he left. Ryan Strome didn't really pan out despite having a 50-point year. Griffin Reinhart lulls. Michael Dalcole also lulls.
Nino.
Nino, yeah, that was our fault, but still didn't work out. Like that's 4 guys out of 5 that just didn't work out.
Yeah, and that was a stretch from 2009 to what 2014 that all those guys.
Yeah. That's too much. That's such a big part of Garth Snow's dice roll into like reforming this team that just completely bombed.
Yeah, that aspect of it definitely did not work.
No.
I like this question from Alan, who wants to know what is a realistic get for Lee and Peugeot at the deadline.
The realistic get for Lee and Peugeot at the deadline. Oh, I guess it's going to depend on what the market is, but Peugeot's going to be one of the better centers out there. So I would imagine second plus a good prospect. This is realistic. I don't want to get into first territory because maybe that's not being realistic, but at least a second and a prospect.
Minimum. How about Lee? I think you might have to retain some money for Lee.
You probably have to retain a little bit of money to make it work, which I will gladly do. It's going to be 1 year. And his deal, as much as it is $7 million on the book, we're actually paying him less. Yeah, we pay him $4.5 million. So we're actually not going to be holding a whole heck of a lot for 2 months? Yeah, you hold half of that, and that makes it so much more realistic. You might be able to get a first. If he does has another year like he had last year, where he scores 29 goals and 54 points, you might get a first for Lee.
You might.
Or should. You should get a first for Lee. But,
especially if he's scoring goals next year, like he did last year.
Yeah. He's got to have a decent, the same year as he had last year, which is entirely reasonable. Even the down year where he only scored 20 goals, we looked at his numbers and it just, right, he was still playing well. Like the third, I think, highest in terms of expected goals at 5-on-5. He should have had more than 20. Should have been like 25 goals, something like that. I expect we get a first round pick for Lee. So first, second, and a prospect minimum. Probably even get a prospect for Lee as well. That could be good. Yeah, that's realistic.
He is going to be 35 in 2 days. So I think it'd be clearly a rental for whatever team. But those teams get, the contenders get really desperate around the deadline. They don't really care about, the 28th pick in the NHL draft. They want to try to go on a run. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a late first.
Yeah. A late first, which you can do something with. I saw there was a question earlier asking, was the first round pick from Colorado protected? And I don't believe it is, because the overwhelming expectation is that the Colorado Avalanche will draft at the later end of the draft next year. Of course, anything can happen. Like Nathan McKinnon gets hurt. Mackenzie Blackwood gets hurt. They lose like 3 or 4 players from the top. Like they had a ton of injuries last year. There was a thought that they might not make the playoffs. Now, obviously, that didn't pan out because they got healthy eventually. But maybe they do it again.
Definitely possible. We have
breaking news.
First signing in a little bit. Montreal Canadiens signed goalie Capo Kakkonen.
Oh, there's promise there with Kakkonen. I don't know if he's going to be a number one goalie. But if you can have Samuel Montembeault and Capo Kakkonen like split the crease, 1A, 1B situation, assuming Kakkonen plays his potential, that could be really good.
Breaking news.
They're coming in, baby. Here we go.
Flying in now, an hour and 20 minutes in. They're starting to come. It is former New York Ranger Ryan Lindgren going to Seattle on a $4.5 million deal.
Okay, that's fair. Nothing groundbreaking there. Just shuffling pieces. Guys are available, picking them up. NHLers easily.
Lindgren's only 27. I thought he was older for some reason.
Because he's been here for a while, right? Like 27-year-olds usually don't hit free agency, unrestricted free agency. But he's obviously got the years in.
Yeah, he was a lot younger when he came up than I thought. His first full season with the Rangers was as a 21-year-old. So
yeah, exactly. Okay. Stop the creepy friend. That's just how I speak, man. This accent, the speaking in English is not natural to me. This is not natural. Speaking in French is, so you're going to have to deal with it. Bon. Jean-Gabriel Pajot. Bon, prends ça tabarnak. There we go. Yeah. Good deal for Lindgren if he stays healthy, for sure.
I could barely do a podcast in my first language. I'm going to do it here in your second language.
Yeah, it's the English is not natural to me. But yeah, nothing going on for the Islanders. I keep seeing in the chats like, are we going to get Shabanov? That'd be nice because the price would be minuscule, but
yeah, we're talking 900,000.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a mill, but we're going to have competition from the Rangers, competition from the Flyers, who apparently is going there.
Yeah, they really like Philly.
Yeah.
I feel like that the insiders have pointed to Philly as the favorite. That's how I meant it.
Yeah. It'd be a dope setup. He go there and he gets to play or link up directly onto Matvei Michkov's hip. Although Michkov also a winger, so they would still need a center. But you can put Michkov on the wing for Couturier and Shabanov on the other side.
Here is from Stefan Rosner right now.
Mm-hmm.
While we await news on Shabanov with DeAngelo signed and Besser staying in Vancouver, I don't think the Isles will be doing much else. Maybe some bottom sixth depth and more solid options for Bridgeport. Still need to sign RFAs, which will eat up most of the remaining money.
Yeah, that's fair. Pop's coming in after that French comment, but that's totally fine. I saw the apology, no big deal. Any update on Isaac Howard? It seems like Tampa is really just waiting to get more than a second round pick because they know they're going to get that no matter what if they don't re-sign him.
That's true.
Right, like they get that in compensation is what I'm trying to say here. They get compensated by the NHL if they don't sign him.
That's a good point. So they could just wait this out if no one's like, hey, we'll give you a second.
Or more. Right, a second plus. If no one's going to give them a second plus, then I don't know if I want to give them a second plus. Because it depends on what that plus is. If it's a second and Isaiah George, maybe I would do it. But I don't know. I'd be teetering. Because we need help defensively. And Isaiah George is so on the cusp that he shouldn't have even been playing the entire year, in my opinion. It would be a 2027 second rounder. Sorry.
Sean said Connor Brown's reason for signing in New Jersey is hysterical. Did you hear what the reason was?
I heard him say something like he liked playing in Canada, and then a but followed. And I didn't hear the but.
Okay.
Did you?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't know. I was asking because I didn't hear what it was.
Okay, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what he said, Sean. Because I don't know why he would choose New Jersey or what makes it hilarious. Ryan saying we can't give Tampa Bay 2026 second rounder at this point, right? Which would be earlier. Yeah, we don't have one because, like Pop said, they being Tampa would only get 2027 second. So
that they can offer.
Well, did we get the goalie? Apparently, Sean is saying Isles got their goalie, and Sean has been ahead of everyone here so far. We're just waiting for the tweets to show it on screen here. Apparently, they re-signed Rittich. Or not re-signed, but they signed Rittich. According to Kevin Weeks, it seems. Thank you, everyone, for the comments.
Yeah, we appreciate the comments. All right, let's get into it. Okay, we have the faceless video, so let's.
New York Islanders are signing goal. Breaking news! Breaking news! I'm told the New York Islanders are signing goaltender Dave Riddick. Big Save Davey, as he was nicknamed up in Calgary.
Big Save Dave.
Breaking news! Let's go.
Okay, there it is. Breaking news! Yay! Hit it.
Breaking news!
The Islanders have a new backup goalie. Now, what does this mean for Semyon Varlamov?
Mm-hmm.
Is obviously everyone's first John said it. That was my first reaction as well.
I guess he's not okay. I guess it seemed like he was, and maybe he's not going to be fine to start the year. At the very least, not okay to start the year. It's how long is he going to be not okay? Is he missing most of the year? Clearly, Hogberg starts in Bridgeport now. Both he and Tristan Lennox are probably going to be, we say Bridgeport, could be Hamilton for all we know. So you have maybe Hogberg and Lennox trading spots there, but it clearly seems that Varley is not going to be okay to start the year.
I'm going to Stefan because he's usually one of the first ones on here. And then I guess we can go. He has not said anything about Gross.
So David Riddick this year, 284, 886 in 34 games for the Calgary Flames, which was not a very good team.
No, not for a very good team at all. I can pull up his numbers. Why don't I do that while we're waiting for other
Sorry, it was in LA. He was into LA, so I don't know why I was thinking of Calgary. Never mind. He was in Calgary at one point.
Yeah, he started his career in Calgary. Was an all-star in 2020.
Yeah, so like those numbers, because LA is a good team, those numbers are a little concerning then. 284 and 886 for a good LA team.
Was awesome the year before. I don't know what happened the last year with him. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're at 921 into 215 and 23-24 playing 24 games.
Yeah, Kemper was great for them, played most of their games, but 30 games is a pretty big sample and wasn't very good.
Yeah. 32 years old, whereas Varley is 35, 36 now?
He might be 37 now, Varlamov.
Oof. He is 37, turned 37 in April. Not great. Not great at all. And like those 10 games, the numbers weren't great either, 289 and 889, but it's only 10 games.
Do you think he's retiring? Do you think he stays on LTIR?
I think he might stay on LTIR. Well, he stays on LTIR. Not that changes anything for us in terms of the cap, especially for under the cap. But if he retires, we still get hit for the 275 this year and next, because I'm pretty sure he signed it. Yeah, he signed a 35 plus contract. Like that does not come off the books early.
Yeah, here we go. Islanders officially tweeted out. Islanders have signed goaltender David Richard to 1-year contract.
Yeah. At least it's a 1-year deal and we're not getting, bogged in for a couple of years here.
He was good a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years ago, 921 and a 215. Like that's fantastic. But
last year.
No. We'll see what happens on the island. Maybe they could insulate him a little bit better, but this is clearly just they need someone, obviously. We'll see what the actual number is in terms of the cost, but I would expect it's not going to be very expensive. Like his last deal wasn't a whole heck of a lot either.
What do you know? That was my next question. Do we know what he was signed for?
$1 million.
I don't think it's going to be more than that. Nope, just a 1-year deal.
Yeah. A 1-year deal last year for $1 million. His biggest contract was a 2-year, $5.5 million deal when he was with the Flames. So I don't expect it's going to be more than like 1.5 to. He's going to be less than Varley.
Oh, significantly less than Varlamov. While we were talking, former Islander Parker Wotherspoon signed with the Penguins 2x1.
Okay. That's a guy that I don't know if we should have let go. He's a great third pair guy.
Yeah, he ended up being pretty solid for Boston, no?
I shouldn't say great. You're right. Good fourth pair guy.
Sorry, I'm still looking to see if the money is out on that. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think so. I like this from Milan. I also have 4 goalies in a shitty top 6. McKenna bound.
I don't think so. I don't think they're a playoff team this year, but I don't think they're going to bottom out and be like a 60-point team.
No, I don't think so either. I would friggin' love that. That'd be dope. If you can get Matthew Schaefer and Gavin McKenna, just like right away. Mick Schaefer? Yeah, it'd be a Mick Schaefer.
Mick Schaefer, hell yeah.
Let's go. That'd be so dope, but I don't want to get caught up in that. I got caught up in the Shagans. I don't want to get caught up in that type of thing.
No, don't let it be a consolation.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens. Great. Yeah, so Mesa, I wish we'd kept Parker and Grant Hutton for depth, but they're like AAA or quadruple A hockey players, better than AHL caliber, but not exactly NHL talent. Agreed. Andrew, is Hogberg still under contract? Yes. Still one more year, I believe. I guess Roy was done with him. Also, I guess Roy didn't like the 45-second Tristan Lennox played against the Rangers.
Yeah, that's true.
What a dumb decision that was. Hogberg still signed one more year at 7.75. I imagine he gets waived and is in the AHL next year, as he was supposed to be.
I would think so too.
Yeah, and like Nono saying, like Nona and Opie, you can't play more than 61 games. Ilya, you gotta rest him a little bit.
Yeah, God no.
You can't have him run out 70 games and just break him down type of thing, especially if you don't plan on being that good this year. Well, we'll obviously wait and see how the year begins. If you happen to hit the ground running and things go well, well, then you keep pushing towards that. But if things don't go well, then it's like, okay, let's not play him every night.
He doesn't have to be there every single night. Give him a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's important to give him some rest so you don't break him down, especially when you plan on being better in a couple of years from now. So like, well, let's just save him for a couple of years from now. Like, we'll be okay. Although, like Walter says, the Eastern Conference does kind of stink.
It's wide open. That's why the Islanders were in it for God knows how long.
Exactly, right? We could have been a playoff team if we just been like a smidge better.
Which is embarrassing, but the truth.
Yeah, we went from maybe a playoff. The spread is maybe a playoff team or first overall pick. That's insane to me.
First overall pick's pretty optimistic. Chicago's lineup absolutely stinks.
Yeah, they haven't done anything to fix that either. Well, I don't think so. But they haven't signed anyone, as far as I know, in free agency. They have made a couple of trades, have they not? But yeah, like Burakovsky.
He's going to be on their second line.
Yeah. Oh, apparently we're getting Ethan Bear.
Oh?
Seeing the comments come up. Brian and then Squishy and then MS. Thank you. Please. Yeah, keep them coming in. We're because sometimes we're only two people. Only two. I put up four fingers.
Could be. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but could be something between Isles and Ethan Bear.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind Ethan Bear at all.
Let's pull up his numbers. He is a right-hand shot D. He played in Washington. Yeah, he played in Washington last year, 24 games. Vancouver the year before that, 61 games. 2020 was his best year in Edmonton, played 71 games, 21 points. Played a lot of minutes, 21.58.
Ethan Bear played with Barzy, apparently. I think that's right. I think you're absolutely right that he played.
Yeah, he must have. They're the same age.
Elite prospects. I'm pretty sure you're right there, Meso. I'm sure you at home have probably found it out sooner than I have. 13, 14, and yeah, 14, 15, he was there with them. Put up 65 points in 69 games. Put up 70 points the year after. Obviously, Barzal was there as well because he got
sent back in 2016.
He played the puck in the penalty box. Oh, Prunovich gone
to the Mammoth. R.I.P.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm to keep switching here. So what is this? Bear where had a really good year in the AHL last year. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I keep clicking on the wrong one. In the AHL for Hershey, 46 points in 62 games did Ethan Bear have.
So even like this could be, as Stefan was saying, this could be just like, let's help out Bridgeport too.
It could be. Absolutely. It could be, let's help out Bridgeport and give ourselves maybe more right-handed depth. If he's better than Scott Mayfield at camp, then Scott Mayfield, peace out. And we're not going to pay this guy nearly as much as Scott Mayfield. We'll probably make the money back by sending Scott Mayfield down.
Yeah, is he going to be more than $1 million?
Apparently, it's like league minimum. Apparently, it's league minimum. Maybe. I don't know if that's in relation to Perinovic or to us.
I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either yet. Maybe it's on the Discord. Yeah, apparently Puckpedia. Isles have re-signed 28-year-old UFA right-handed D Ethan Bear to 1 year, $775 cap hit. Guaranteed $425, minors $325. Hell yeah. Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Worst case scenario, he's in Bridgeport and they're better this year. Best case scenario, he's your third pair right shot defenseman.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good deal. It's a prove it deal, and if it works out, awesome. As Walter and others have said, good piece of work for the Hamilton Soundcats.
Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. That's right. On the move.
Yeah, apparently so. We'll see if anything gets done there. But yeah, like Danny is pointing out, that we needed help at the right-handed side in Bridgeport with Aiden Fulp, at least not qualified, and Hutton also left. So we need right-handed depth. It could be that he just stays there. One of them, anyways. But makes sense. I like it.
Still no number on
Riddich.
Big Save Dave.
Big Save Davey, huh? Is that what? Come on, Kevin. My God, it was right there.
Big Save Davey. I'm looking at Puckpedia. No, they don't have it.
I agree here with Sloppy. It all went downhill when they changed from Sound Tigers. Not really, but I believe it. Let me believe it. I agree.
I like the Sound Tigers name was better. I like the Sound Tigers name.
It had at least a separate identity. Like you killed that identity in Connecticut, and then you killed the franchise by like not ever having anyone play there. That barn was empty most of the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've been pretty bad. I mean, last year was really the culmination of it, but they've been not very good for a while.
Mm-hmm. So, Hockey Life, this has been a terrible free agency. Also, lull to Boston not wanting to pay Marchie, but paying Tanner Janelle.
They could have used that money for Marchand, no?
Apparently so. Yeah, Marchie only signed, was it $6 million in Florida?
Yes, it did end up only being 6.
Yeah. Although the promise of we won back-to-back cups and going back to Boston.
Yeah.
I'd probably side with Florida.
I would too.
And also, didn't they give him a crap ton of signing bonus money as well? Like his actual salary is only $1 million.
Let's see the structure.
I'm pretty sure that's how it broke down for them, which is, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, the base is $1 million across the board, and it's all pretty much all signing bonus money.
Yeah, $5.25 million for Brad Marchand. So he got less, did he not? Because Jeannot is 5.34.
Yes. Horrendous.
That's bad. And for almost the same term, 6 years for Marchand, which is long as shit for a guy who's 37. He's 37 years old. And he got a 6-year deal.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts.
But like Marshy still got it though, right? Like, yes.
Barzal and Ethan Bear.
Come on.
Buds.
Knows how to play with them. Let's see if he can do it at the NHL level. It would help us get out from under Scott Mayfield.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Man. Yeah, look, Eric's like, Chris and Lou destroyed Bridgeport. People here aren't happy. Nor should you. You shouldn't be, man. That's
I wouldn't either.
Super insulting. Assuming it doesn't, assuming it pans out, it's just a rumor right now, but it seems like there's a lot of smoke there. So,
yeah, 1-year deal, $775 for Ethan Bear.
Good deal.
I know we pulled it up. Stefan just tweeted it too.
Yeah. Here from Matt. Any concern the Isles timetable now won't line up with Sorokin being in his prime? I feel like these should have been the years we push, but it didn't turn out that way.
I mean, yes, that's true. Although his contract, I know a lot of people are critical of it. He's no longer one of the top goalies, paid goalies in the NHL with some of the new deals that have come through. He'll be here through his age 35 season, so essentially the rest of his career. Bobrovsky's won late in his career. It's not impossible. We saw Luongo was really good until his late 30s.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of prime, I think that you got something there where like that doesn't line up in terms of the actual prime itself. Makes a whole lot of sense, but you're right, absolutely, Matt. Like he could turn into or still be the guy he is now in 4 or 5 years from now, especially if we don't run him into the ground.
Right, because he's 30 this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's right. Or 31?
He'll turn 30 in August.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing some numbers here. Like Alonso Teno got 3.4. Was it not 5 point something? Oh, it was 3.4. Okay, that's better then. It was $3.4 million. Sorry. Right, he's correcting us. Like, got $3.4 million over 5 years. So that's my dyslexic brain probably mixing them up there.
Still.
Thank God. Whew, okay, that's good. It makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, but they've spent money elsewhere too. Like you don't have to trade for Arvidsson. You could just sign Marchand.
Yeah.
Because Arvidsson's what, 4? So it's between Arvidsson and Jeannot, it's 7.4 versus whatever it would have taken to pay Marchand and have him retire a Bruin.
Yeah. Something. Pop's asking if any player that goes undrafted, can he sign with any team and go to the AHL? That's a good question. I'm not really sure about that rule. They could re-enter the draft for sure. I guess it depends on their age. I think age would play a factor there.
Yes,
but
age would be a factor.
Yeah. Someone is going to know I know Ryan is listening, so Ryan might know that off the top of his head. Ryan is my CBA expert there.
Same. He's the up the turnpike expert on that one.
Odd to Rocket are also teams are signing players to 7 or 8 year deals now in preparation for the new rule under the upcoming CBA. That much I know about the new CBA, whereas effectively everything's gone down a year. So a team can sign a pending unrestricted free agent for the max of 7 years, while unrestricted free agents can only sign for a maximum of 6 years.
That's going to be a big change.
Yeah. So max deals are going to be 7 years for players now, which is we're going to see a lot more money being tossed around for players eventually.
It's already starting.
Yeah. Right. Like, so you're going to see more money because players are going to hit their primes a little bit earlier. You signed a 7-year deal when you're 21. Well, you're still able to sign another 7-year deal when you're 28, when you're in your prime still.
That's true. So
you got Brad Marchand at 37 signing 6-year deals.
It's crazy. It really is. Ryan says, I think kids are draftable for 2 years. Draft eligible for 2 years on that.
That feels like it's right. It feels like that makes a lot of sense.
So Capo Kakinen got $1.15 million. I know that's not the Islanders goalie, but if you're looking for a comp, that might be a good one.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking of Capo Caco for some reason. 1.15. That's fair. I think Rittich should get around that. No more than that. No more.
No, I don't think it would be more. I think it would be that or less.
Yeah, because like that's a lot of money to tie up. It gets into a lot of money to tie up on a guy that you're going to play 24 games. Sean is saying Rittich got $775.
I really hope that's the case. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Which again, he had a $1 million deal last year and didn't play well. He shouldn't be getting a raise. Let's call it that. Because you don't deserve one in terms of the what you put out on the ice type of thing. So we'll see when that hits there. But where did you get that from, Sean? Who's quoting that price? I'm trying to turn it in here on Puckpedia because usually they'll have it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it wouldn't shock me if it's towards the league minimum.
Connor's saying low-key think Mayfield could be gone. I don't know about that. I think they're going to have competition, and then we'll see from there.
Who's taking that contract?
Yeah, that's just it. I don't know if anyone's going to take that. It's too long.
Jordan Harris is going to Boston. That's
who?
He was not qualified in Columbus.
Okay. I never heard of that player.
Jordan Harris. How many over/under NHL games on Jordan Harris?
Under 25.
No. He played 164 total games in his career. He played 33 last year in Columbus, 5 points. The 2 years prior was in Montreal. 56 games, 65 games.
No, that's news to me.
Yeah. He was in the Line A deal. Had to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, had to be, of course. Yeah, really strange. Schaffen asking, why is it surprising that Dash hasn't re-signed Holmstrom yet? I don't think
so. Rush too.
Right. These are RFAs. They don't need to figure that out right now. They can wait and sign them later once they figure out what they're doing with their free agents type of thing. Right. They figure out what they're doing with their goalie situation. They figure out what they're doing in the back end. I think at this point, they're probably going to be done. Maybe we hear something on Shabanov, but again, doesn't need to be done today. And so for the Islanders, it's going to be interesting over the next week what they do, which sucks for us because we hope to get it all done. All of us, done here, but
exactly kind of want everything and want it like now, but there's not really a big urgency, and the Islanders aren't going to be big players on any of the big names right now. Ehlers is the biggest name left, and he's apparently going to take a while.
Right. Someone's asking me how I became an Islander fan because I'm here in Ottawa. It's Denny Potvin. Denny Potvin is from here, from Vanier, where I live. And they took it down recently. I hope to, bring it back to where it was before, bring it back to its original glory. But there's a mural here in town of the Islanders of Denny Potvin and his brother Jean. And so I always saw that going like, holy shit, okay, why is that here? And then I ended up figuring out what's going on with the Islanders. And then 1993 happened, and then I was all in. Done.
It's a great story.
Yeah. Would you take a flyer on Bo?
No.
I know Ryan is shouting yes.
Yeah, he loves Anthony Beauvillier, and like, if that's the route that you want to go, like, okay, and you think there's more left on the table, he is an awesome playoff performer. You can never take that away from him. Even in Washington this year, he had a couple big playoff goals. I don't think they really have the room, not like cap wise. I don't think he's going to be expensive, but if you're re-signing all your RFA forwards, how are they gonna have 16 forwards and like 2 defensemen? Like how's this gonna work?
Yeah, and not really productive. 25 points in 81 games, averaging just under 13 minutes of ice time. No Villiers. Ryan's all in.
Yeah, brothers. He loves him.
It's just he has these peaks and valleys. 16 games of 60-point pace, 16 games of not being able to do anything. It's just, and now that he's 28 and less productive, I don't know. I'm good. But like, if you get him for league minimum, fine. But yeah, like Burns is saying, that does Alex Jeffrey have to make the team this year? If he doesn't, would it likely spell the end of his time with the team? Like, you have guys that could be taking the next step up. Why are we going to block it with Beauvillier?
Do you think Jeffries has a shot at the NHL roster?
If they're going to look at him, I worry though. I worry. I like him a lot. I really like Alex Jeffries. I think he could play at the NHL and be a good third line winger. but they need to give him an actual proper shot and not just completely block off his potential.
The wasn't really all that productive in his first full year in the AHL. 29 points in 59 games.
Yeah. Like it started off very, very well, and then it just kind of fell off. Masso, does Jeffries have more potential than Default did? Yes. Madly so. Defoe was an overager and did very, very well. And so there was a lot of potential there, but Jeffries did well for a young kid and kept getting better. He even had Hobie Baker love. He was never going to win it, but he was at least in the top 50 for the Hobie Baker in his freshman year. There was a lot there for Alex Jeffries, and there still is.
Yeah, that 2023 season, the 41 points in 38 games at Merrimack, really stood out. And he was point per game even the last year too, 23 points in 22.
He completely helped redefine that entire program. It went from a decent program to one that like gets into the Frozen Four tournament, or at least on the cusp of it every year.
Oh, relatively. It's sad that I'm going to say relatively big name for this person, but
Breaking news.
Brandon Tanev signed 3 by 2.5 to go to Utah.
Just does this the entire time, right? Wild stuff. What a character. Opens his eyes wide. Unbelievable.
That's so sad. I was like, oh, a name I recognize right now. Brandon Tanev just signed to a multi-year deal.
Yeah, this is such a... I thank you to all the 270 joining along, trying to see what the hell happens here, but so far nothing spectacular has happened. Absolutely nothing. What is it? The biggest thing is Brock Besser re-signing in Vancouver for 7 by 7.5 or 7.25?
7.25.
Right. Like
there it is. You were just talking about it.
It's fine. There's nothing against what Brandon Tanev does, but the NHL is so devoid of any sort of goddamn personality that a guy opening his eyes is a rager.
Oh yeah, that guy.
It's such a boring and buttoned up league that he opens his eyes, which again is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. That is laugh out loud, break your hip hilarious. Stupid league sometimes. It's so it does it to itself.
It is such a dumb league.
I mean, we're finally getting out from under it, right? The Islanders have just been boring, a snooze fest for years because of Lou, and now we finally we saw them ask their bagel. It's nothing. It's Brandon Tanev eye-opening type of content, but it's so much better than what we had.
Oh, I want to ask you, Mitch. Are you the only Canadian who could pronounce bagel correctly?
Bagel?
Yeah, that's how you say it. They all say it. They're like bagel.
Like a bagel? Bagel?
They said it. They were saying it like bagel in the video. All the Canadian boys.
That's really dumb. Yeah, it's bagel. Come on now. It's bagel. 100%. It's always bagel. But you can tell the Canadians who are getting the everything bagel with cream cheese. That is default order here in Canada.
That's a great order. I have no issue with an everything bagel with cream cheese.
It's fantastic. A Tim Hortons double and an everything bagel with cream cheese is everyone's order here.
That's a good way to start the day, if you ask me.
Yeah. Although a bacon, egg, and cheese, fan-friggin-tastic. On an everything bagel, of course.
The best.
Absolutely. Alon, what is the true potential of Quinn Finley? I don't know, man. It's up there. Again, just kind of like Jeffries, young kid, doing very, very, very well. I can't wait till he turns pro. He's going to stay in Wisconsin this year and will be going pro, I would assume, the year after. Depending on what Wisconsin does, he might stay a fourth year like Jeffries to just kind of, unfinished business type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, big step forward in year 2 for him, though. No, 20 goals, 40 points.
Big step. And like leading the way for Wisconsin. Let's see if he can build on that. He was a really good prep player, not even just prep, but USHL player as well. One of the better players in the league in his last year.
Yeah, Chicago Steel, right?
Yeah, it was Chicago and then the Madison Capitals.
Yep.
He went because he got traded the same that year.
Madison. Yep.
It's fun. Come on, man. Tim Hortons double. Tim Hortons is like you have that on Long. Well, I don't know if there's any on Long Island, but there's some in New York.
So there definitely is. You know where they are? They're usually like combined with a gas station,
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
like a Bola Market kind of deal.
Yeah, if you have to go and make it yourself, don't do it. Don't get Tim Hortons coffee because it's shit.
Okay.
You have to get them to. They have like these automated, like most coffee places. They click a button to like the appropriate amount of sugar, the appropriate amount of milk coming out, based off of Tim Hortons ratio. That's it. That's what you get. Tim Hortons is a Canadian coffee chain founded by hockey player, Toronto Maple Leafs hockey player Tim Horton, and their coffee, we call it here a double, which is usually 2 creams and 2 sugar. I do it with 2 milk because cream is gross.
Okay,
That's it.
fair enough.
That's 2 cream, 2 sugar coffee. That's a double.
That's the ratio.
That's the ratio. Yeah. I've seen this one a few times here. Do you think Schaefer makes the opening night roster?
I think yes.
Yes. I think so too. His first couple of strides alone, when I saw his first couple of strides taken off, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm in. Let's see it.
just him skating around that there, keeping his head up, making plays at the blue line. Okay, yeah, he can make the team.
It was like they're doing this kind of like spinning around. One touch pass, spin around 2 or 3 times, and then you go towards the net. He did those, and then the first few strides after accelerating, and he blew past the guy that was trying to mark him, and I was going right there and then. His skating is so goddamn good. I'm okay. Just let him play. Absolutely.
I think he plays, and I think he stays. I know someone Walter says yes, but goes back after 9 games. I don't think so. I think he stays.
Do we care if we burn a year on his ELC? If he's good, let him be good. But I don't mind the call, like Sloppy saying that play him in the NCAA. I'm okay with that. Absolutely.
There's a few examples of defensemen recently going to play for a year. Like Makar is one of them, right? Who played in the NCAA for a year.
Yeah. And look, he's already played at the OHL level and dominated. It wasn't long, but it was good enough. 17 games was good enough to draft him first overall. Now it's okay. Well, let's see if you can play against older kids and still do that. And I'm sure he will. But I can see him staying on the island, just playing out the year.
I think
right. Walter, good call. You're absolutely right. Can't sign an ELC if you go see NCAA. That's absolutely right. Because you can't be under contract in the NCAA.
Yeah, that's true. So then you would have to go to juniors then.
Yeah, which would be a waste. So he's staying. Although, as a first-round pick, you could go to the AHL.
Okay. So that's another option.
Yeah, but just keep him on the island. Just keep him on the island.
So we just passed the 2-hour mark here, Mitch. Not a ton. I just figured you want to do a final thoughts on what we got today. Tony DeAngelo, Ethan Bear, and David Rittich.
Fine. It's fine. And, we were kind of waiting to see what we would do with the Noah Dobson money. That was also part of like that, looking at what we can do with that trade. So far, nothing, which kind of stinks. But I'm not going to keep trying to find positives in the trade. The trade was okay at this point. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the 2 guys we picked. The return that we got on some of these players, or the free agents we did sign, fine. Depth filling out the roster at this point.
Depth filling out the roster. Could be a new backup goalie. We'll have to keep an ear out on Semyon Varlamov and what's going on there. But Ethan Bear, at minimum, going to be a good guy to have in the AHL. Could potentially push Scott Mayfield for the final right-hand D spot. That's pretty much it, right?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
So it was quiet for the Islanders today. If anything big happens, we could come on and do a video about it. But I
don't imagine that's going to happen.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say I don't think that's the expectation for today.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see then. But thank you all for joining us. All 260 of you. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. It helps us grow this channel, and it allows you to help us earn money from the channel without actually having to give us your hard-earned dollars.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we'll catch you later.